I hope everyone is having a great evening, and I hope you have an amazing night. I'm currently in the process of testing this download manager application. So I've kind of moved it now more like into a test phase. So hopefully everything will test out. A lot of the code is new. I've never really done I've never really done any web programming per se. So it's kind of new to me. And I'm gonna have to make sure that I handle error correction, and I know I've got a few things I need to add. But let me kind of show you what this does. And speaking of workflows, I kind of think it's probably the better of the two workflows on how to do something. This is basically the exact same app. It still has the ability to build databases based on SHA-256 hashes. It still logs in the database itself. It still logs hash collisions. So if two files have the exact same contents, it will log that. Um, I put the report in here. I put a collision report. It is in the games library, so you can call it from really any application that accesses that library. It does read the dictionary. There's a data table, like a dictionary, that has the entries in it. But if you look at it, you can actually see, like in this example, where it's the exact same file. I do believe that this is the mod ID. So the mod, let me see if I can highlight this real quick. The mod ID is different. So, and I believe that's probably the same author. I didn't look at it, but that's one instance. But then you have another instance over here where you've got a lot of different files, all from the same mod, it looks like. So I'm not sure why they would hash out the same. And this looks like a lot of files, but this really comprises of, let's see, Fallout 3, Vegas, Fallout 4, and Skyrim. Skyrim was the worst. So believe me, there's a lot of files, and this is really an incredibly small number if you bank that against all the files. So this report's in here. I don't know. I'm not really sure what to do with it yet, but I did put the file dates up here. If the files have to, as I've located them on, on my drives, then I throw the dates up here. I can put other information as well, but I threw this up here so I can kind of compare it to see maybe if it's the same version from two different mods or two different dates. That's in here. Um, it basically connects to the Nexus, and what it does is it gives you the once it connects to the Nexus, it'll throw up this little icon, and it allows you to select different download sites. I could probably fix this so that it's dynamic, and that's what I intend to do. But I just put this in here for a test right now. So this is kind of in the menu system. If you ever look at the menus, you type them in a text file, and then this reads it and does its thing. So you can swap to different servers as you go. Let me see. What it does, the way the workflow flow would generally work, and if you look at the file names here, this is what it renames it to when it downloads it. So the way that the workflow would generally work, at least from what I've discovered, and I've been, it took me about a day, little over a day and a half, I think, to put the code in, test it. It took me a while to figure out that URIs can have little sneaky little characters, like little encoded characters in there. But other than that, it's pretty simple. It really is pretty easy stuff. It's written, like I say, this stuff is written in VB, so anyone can do it. You don't need C or anything like that. You can do it. But the way the workflow would generally work is you would get the metadata for the file, and then you would parse that metadata, which is in a JSON format. You would just parse it, and then you select the fields that you want to create your file name. That's really the best way to do it, and it bypasses all all this other stuff, so that that way it's how you want it to be. Um, the file name that I use, I can set it to anything. It's completely configurable. It's not necessarily right now. It's hard coded, but it's because I'm testing it out. But once I'm done, I'll break that code out into another DLL, and then that will have its own localization file, and then every string it uses will be in that. So if maybe a URL, the format of a URL changes a little bit, you just hopefully you can just type it in that text file, and everything will be good. I've been using this to download files for about a day, and basically, you just the what I did is I registered a dispatch program, and the funny thing is, the dispatcher is like 10 lines long. It literally is 10 coding lines long. So, basically, it just, whenever you go to use a mod manager to download, it fires off the dispatcher. The dispatcher then pipes the URL to this application. So this application is always running. I'm probably going to change that to be a single instance app and then maybe use the event to grab it. So I'll have to take a look at that. That's one thing I've never done. So I want to make sure that it's done correctly and it works. So it's kind of going to be like testing, but that way it would just, you have one running program and it just pumps the information directly to this. It gets rid of the dispatch altogether. And yeah, that's about it. Manual, it's in the with the manual downloads, I'm testing now the ability to um rename those using kinda like a meta file, but it's the MD5 hash. So in a sense, what I do is I get a MD5 hash, request the JSON for that, and then I parse that out and then get the fields that I need in order to build my file name. And, that way it's exactly the way I want it, and it looks really nice, it's neat and clean. If you look at the file name here, it's very clean. You can really do as little or as much as you want to with it. I do the same thing that I think the Vortex does and Mod Organizer too is I actually save the little meta files as I get them. So I cache those. I don't think I'm gonna use them, but I don't think I need them for anything else, but if I do, it'll save me from having to, let's say, reacquire that metadata. So this way I can kinda have it on tap. I'll probably leave that in there in case anybody needs them. Like if for some reason they save them or whatever it is they do with them. But, yeah, that's about it. So this is kinda like the way I would suggest doing it. This, this application here is completely standalone. It's 100% standalone. It does not require a mod manager to work. It is absolutely standalone. It doesn't matter what game you're currently looking at. If you download, let's say, using the mod or like using your mod organizer button, like on the Nexus page, if you click that mod organizer button, it will put it in the correct folder. So it'll go in Fallout 3, Fallout 4. It knows exactly what it is. I actually parse all that out. So I get enough data to make sure that it's put in the proper place. It has the proper naming conventions. You can, like I say, you can change it if you want. Um, and this way, and I thought it would be a better idea because I noticed with Mod Organizer 2, there's a lot of plugins you have to kind of put into, you've got an original design for an app, and then you've got, the modularity of different plugins. And if something breaks because of a file name, I don't want a main application to have to deal with that. So as far as the workflow goes, I've offloaded everything that has to do with managing files onto this app. So, and that's kind of like what I'm going to be working on for a while until I kind of get it nailed down and I can hopefully get it registered for everyone to use. But yeah, that's kind of it. It's I really don't have to worry about how things are named per se, from like let's say a manual button. And yeah, that's kind of like the idea. All right, guys. Well, I just want to show you kind of like how the test is going. I'm still testing it. I got to put some more code in. I've got a lot more code I want to put in. There's some things I need to actually kind of address. I've got to get partial files. I got to address partial files in case, let's say, the download breaks. I need to address that. I got to get some error checking in here. So yeah, there's a little bit more to do, but currently for like a day and a half, you can actually see the names of my files up here. This is what they're renamed as. Or it isn't so much renamed is once the server starts feeding me the file, I basically tell it the name that I want to create on disk. So it can be anything I want. All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys are having a good evening, and I will chat with everyone a bit later on. I've got some things I need to do, and I got some testing I got to do. So, right. Hope you guys have a good one, and I'll chat at you later.